want to talk to you. That's VJ. VJ is the black friend. She's my one black friend who has other black friends. Hey, y'all.
Which is crazy because I would probably be the one that they said had the least amount of black friends before.
Wow.
Listen, I care about
in
y'all.
comparison
I
to
know.
who?
Comparison to them, but I think it's just because like I went to like this place I went to high school, like they say it's like a 33% split, like there's no Asian people or like Native American people or Asian people. So let's get that out the way. Or like Indian. So there's literally like black, white, Mexican. Like just
got you.
So like it's like 30% of each, but like realistically, like I think I graduated with like 11 other niggas like that. So I'm just like the amount of black people I know in comparison to the amount they probably know is pretty small outside of like my immediate family at that point until I met them. And so it's just weird that all they want to talk about is white people, first world problems.
Hi guys.
I mean, listen, I get it. We live a very blessed life, but
oh my God, I think Oprah's gonna run, and I really was hoping Hillary would do it again.
I actually don't want to talk about either one of those. So.
Yeah, that's depressing. I know I said this held the whole bottle, but I didn't put it in there, so there's not enough. That shit's depressing. Kamala done got on goddamn TV talking about we need to Google the COVID.
Listen, when I seen that Delta and Omicron had a baby, I say, dog, we literally live in a video game. This has to be. It's something that's like
this is how it sounds.
The shit merging is coming together. It's forming like Voltron on our asses. Like it's ready.
Ain't it?
It's ready.
It really is. It really is. It really is.
It's just so much shit that you wouldn't think would happen ever in life, and that shit happened.
It's very much happening.
I'm waiting for the murder hornets to come back. Like I feel like they were here. They didn't really do enough. Like they didn't really
leave that much of an impression.
Like they were here, but they didn't really do. They didn't give what they were supposed to have gave. So they'll be back.
I think they didn't know how to adapt to the environment that they came out in. You know, y'all from the Midwest, so you know how like that one year you get some flying ants, but they be not that many. But then that next year you be like, I don't even want to go outside.
That's how it is with cicadas out here. Like, ooh.
Yeah, like somebody trying to explain cicadas to me, and I was
like,
basically,
ain't no cicadas in Texas.
No.
Texas gives me vibes like it'd be cicadas there, like
everywhere, nigga.
Cicadas is basically loud ass like crickets, and they just be like, and they like to like terrorize like where like the street lights are or like where school buses let out, like stuff like that.
I know
and they only come out every 17 years.
I've seen a cicada. They're just not any here. And I think it's very dry here. So it's not the conditions may not be ideal. I don't know what they live in. Like I've seen cicadas
out here.
Cicadas come out like a chick who a nigga hit her and her whole family fuck with her. That's what cicadas give me. Like everybody's there.
You put your hands on Keisha and they be like,
I know you didn't, and then they all just come.
Right.
That's a cicada environment.
The only thing I think we've ever had that I can think of that's similar is we had these things called like love bugs. There was little black bugs with like orange backs.
Do not own a white car in love bug season.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a love bug?
You never seen
little bitty fly bugs that had like little orange backs, and then they would mate together by the butt. So then there'd be two of them flying together, joint together. And if they would like be stuck in your car. If your car was white, they'd be they were covering everything.
Did they like leave excrement? Like what? Like why can't you?
But you would hit them, and the smell from like them being dead stunk so bad.
Like they would.
Why they call love bugs if they booty stinks?
They stick together, like they would be joined together. Yeah.
Oh.
But like the crazy part about love bugs is like, you know how like if you walk through a swarm of anything, they tend to move. The crazy part about love bugs is they don't really swarm, but you'll be walking down the street, you just like, it just be like one, like, and another, like, where
like
they coming from.
They're just
Yeah,
out
they're not
everywhere.
Yeah, right. They're not fucking with you. They're just in the air.
They don't bite. They don't. They don't fly fast. They don't buzz. They're just
there.
Think of like an unemployed, like shifty nigga that eats all your food, drinks all your baby's drink. Like,
okay.
Like, why would you say that? Like, if you had a roommate and they paid their rent and shit, and like didn't really do, but they didn't do anything.
But they farted in the living room all the time.
That's the equivalent, yes. Because the way, like you said, they don't fly at you, they don't do nothing, but.
Right, they just like land on you. Like they don't.
So to be clear, they don't fuck with you. They just fuck on you.
Yeah, it's like your roommate. It's like the roommate doesn't talk to you, doesn't use your shit, is not dirty, pays their rent on time, but occasionally you come in and they're fucking on the couch in the living room.
Oh,
like that.
Why you got groceries in your hand and you was about to ask help, but oh well.
And then you just be like, I guess, because like they don't do anything else. Like you're just like, okay, move.
Cannot.
Yeah, that's what love bugs are. Yeah.
We'll have to find you a picture. It's very weird. Like they don't do anything. Like they don't even make noise.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay.
Right, because them little things be moving, you don't even hear a buzz.
No, nothing.
And cicadas is loud as fuck. Like they want, cicadas is a bitch named Keisha. Like if she wants to be heard.
You ever? So I know there's a time difference, but I'm almost assuming that sleep schedule with cicadas would be just like sleep schedule with humans. You ever been asleep and like it'd be quiet for a minute? You've been hearing cicadas all day. And it'd be quiet for a minute, and then like you, right when you hit that REM sleep, they just all wake up.
Oh my god! I'll never forget one time me and Josh went on a date, and it was like super, like it was dark, and then like literally every time we drove past a street light, it was like millions of them, just like like it was fucking ridiculous. It was like ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. Like,
hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hi guys. This is all
this is a podcast.
We are talking about bugs and shit.
It's all docked up.
This is not a nature podcast at all.
In case you're new here, this is all docked up. That's Chris. I'm BJ. That's Penrose.
That's Penrose.
What's up, guys?
So, first of all, welcome back. I'm so super glad to record with you guys again. Of course, we've like talked and stuff in between our little hiatus and all that, but like,
Happy New
feels
Year.
very good. Happy New Year, guys! Thanks for everybody rocking with us last year, and let's do it again.
We back like butt cheeks.
14
love butt cheeks. So listen.
Right, back like.
Stick together like love bugs. Okay, so look, we are talking about, before I even tell y'all what we're talking about, like the era of the 2000s. Like, wow. Like fashion, music, everything.
What a time. And it's coming back because somebody did a TikTok where they were walking around in a Hot Topic or in a something, Wet Seal, somewhere, but all of it was baby tees with blinged out glitter and fucking.
Oh yeah, it's all coming back.
It's all
coming back.
They think they've invented something. It's wild.
Remember when we used to get offended when our moms and shit would say that like, oh, this is just some old shit that we used to do, and we was like, no, it's not. Like this is new, and we own this. And now we're looking at people like redoing the shit that we thought was original to us. Like,
yeah. Except for they're just kind of doing an amalgamation of like everything, and I think that's the weird.
Because they weren't there.
Like that's the weirdest part of it all. Like it's just like some 70s, some 80s, some 90s. Like they it's just kind of whatever.
With fucking wide leg jeans and a fucking belt with wallet.
Yeah, they just don't. They've made it something bastardized, and God bless them.
But you know what? This is the one generation that care to a degree about certain name brands. But they mostly care about whatever their version of fly is.
Okay, wait, pause. Okay, So funny fucking story.
Argentine share blunt.
So funny story is that when Josh came in and handed me the blunt the first time, this nigga definitely said, "You in here looking like the fucking first lady in No Limits."
Like I say,
Right.
And so I was very dead. So the fact that you just came here and said that was very hilarious. And hi, Ivan. Okay, so
I love that for you. It's very stylish.
Thanks. So we're here today to talk about one of the things that had a hold on us, and I think culture as in general at that time. And we'll individually tell our Von Dutch stories because I feel like we all probably have one. But that's what we're talking about, guys. The Curse of Von Dutch, a brand to die for. This is on Hulu?
Yes.
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 I will say I was very excited for this because I thought some like real murder shit happened. So I was sort of.
I did too. I did too. I'm not gonna lie.
That up top. I was disappointed.
I definitely thought it was gonna be a couple bodies, some niggas in jail. I really thought
it was gonna be some real gangster shit. Turned out to be some real fraudulent shit.
Just all niggas stealing from niggas, and niggas stealing from other
it was still cool, but I just felt like what drawed out to be 3 different parts could have been one part, one good hour and a half, could have,
or like 2 45 minutes. Could have
did it. Could have got it right. But I think. Go
ahead.
I said, but I will say, the only Von Dutch story I can tell you is that I guess Von Dutch was at its height like early 2000s ish. Those trucker hats were like $50, and my mama was like, "You will die before I spend you will be in the grave before you spend $50 of my hard-earned American money on a trucker hat." I just want to be very clear. Like, I wanted to have Von Dutch. I saw all the people wearing the Von Dutch, but Vermeek's ass in 2002, 2003 didn't have a Von Dutch. They had a Von Dutch money.
So my Von Dutch story, we went to a little boutique. A bunch of my cousins came out here from Chicago. We were like, we about to go to the store. We about to get these Von Dutch hats. And we took like our aunt, one of their moms with us. So we go in the store and we're looking at them. This is like 120. This one says 80. This one says 65. Like, so we're like, ooh, putting them down and shit. And literally we got to the one that was like $49.99. And she was like, that's still a little steep, y'all. It's like 5 of y'all definitely not doing that. And she was like, and then they went back home. And then guess what I got in the mail? A knockoff Von Dutch. A knockoff. Ain't from the nigga at the train station.
Loved it. I
wore the shit out of that hat.
If the internet would have been popping like it is now, like the Chinese people, like the Japanese, we could have had like all the knockoff Von Dutch. AliExpress would have had it cracking in 3 to 5 business days.
But absolutely. You know what? I think the internet is what killed our knockoff generation. Because like I remember, like, no bullshit, there was a store right by my I don't know what y'all call them, but where we from, it's called the Secretary of State. Is where you get your license and do everything. Like, we don't have a DMV. Like, we got one place in Michigan where you do everything.
What's everything? Like car shit?
Like car shit, Social Security shit,
like the Canadian alcohol store? Like, it's all just like you can only get it from right here?
I guess.
Wait,
yeah.
So like you
we don't like, you know, it's like we don't have a DMV. So you go there for your
or
DMV
Social Security
shit.
Administration.
So if I lose my Social Security card, I would go to the same building that I would get a driver's license at.
That you taking your driver test at.
I mean,
I guess.
It's like you can deal with certain shit. You can't do everything, but like most shit that people have 2 and 3 separate buildings for, we have one place.
That seems weird because, like, do I trust the driver license lady to be handling my Social Security like this? Like, are these the same clearances? I guess.
I mean,
is it different?
Different people have different windows. Yeah,
okay, like that's what I'm saying. Is it like different rooms?
Yeah, so like,
or it's just like you go up there and it's just what you want to do, what you want to do.
Social Security go over there.
I take that back. You know how when you go to the DMV and it's like R438 window 10. R438 windows.
So it is. So it's like that. And then, but you have but they're probably separating the letters and stuff based on what you there for, right?
Yeah, like
they do at the DMV.
I ain't never really remember being an R number and I ain't get called to the same window that all other R numbers went to. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm pretty, but at the same time, I don't think they separate the niggas in the sense of being like, this is your expertise. I think like
whoever
you
works today.
You have what's
See,
your
that's the
schedule
part
look
that's
like, John?
concerning.
That's the
I
part
got-
that's
Are
like
you
making
well
me
Like, do you know all the Social Security Administration shit, or do you know all the DMV shit? And now I'm stuck with you, and I done got frauded out of my fucking Social Security number.
It's like the nigga that usually be in the cereal aisle, cut in the butcher section. So they are you
Meat, chicken, shit.
cut the
These
steak?
Lucky Charm oxtails. Like, wait.
He just throwing shit in the bag like cereal and shit. It's all at the bottom of the
Shaking
bag.
it up. It's chicken. Yeah, it's chicken.
Oh my god, that just made me think about something. I'm so sorry. So we have because it's been like so guys. If we would have like had recordings, I would have gotten these stories out. But I'm sorry. So we're here. So look,
this is our first time. Jesus.
Speaking of people being in the wrong place at the grocery store, I went to Smith's, which I think is like Kroger's where you guys are.
Okay.
And shit. So probably not where you are because y'all.
I don't have a Kroger's
like,
out here. I got Kroger's where I'm from, but I ain't got one.
Okay.
Yeah, I know
Y'all ain't got
Kroger is. You're
Kroger's?
good. We know Kroger
Okay.
is.
All right, cool. So it was a fucking grocery store, cool. So and I went to the butcher's place and I went to get some get some bacon.
Co-host.
And I asked for 2 half pounds, right? So a half a pound and then a half a pound, right? And 2 separate packages. Why? So you know how like when you get bacon, like where you go, like they just like they have the bacon and they roll it up, right? So it's like it still look like bacon, right? This bitch, she took the half a pound and like I remember how I just said put it in the bottom of the bag. She just put it in the bottom of the bag and then rolled the top of the bag around it and then put brown paper over that. So when I got my bacon, it was literally like it was like this.
No.
And I had to go home and undo it because I can't put that in the freezer. Like, what is happening? Like, I had to iron it out and shit.
Straighten it out.
Okay. Okay, before we really get into this, what's your Von Dutch story, Penrose? I know you have one.
You know what? I think for me, because I never bought Von Dutch anything, but the reason was because at the time Paris Hilton like annoyed the fuck out of me.
Okay, I was definitely watching A Simple Life, like.
And I think everybody was, but and I'm gonna tell like the reason I didn't buy Von Dutch is because Paris Hilton was down there the face of it, and I knew she wasn't as dumb as she was pretending to be on TV, and it irritated me. And I felt like people were fucking getting behind this because of the dumb persona, you know what I'm saying? And that shit so I was just like, I can't support this shit. Like, I for real took a stand. Like, I don't give a fuck how many celebrities is running. And plus, to me, it looks stupid. I think Von Dutch is the ugliest shit that has ever been made.
Wait, say stupid again?
Stupid. That's
okay, because it sounded it was giving Baltimore, and I was
was giving very B more Drew Hill first album.
It's
like.
stupid.
I had to have it repeated because it was sounding
like
stupid. Okay.
What year we in, dog? 2022.
22.
That line I seen where that nigga was like, where it said, tell Aaron to get the iron. And then nigga was like, tell Aaron to get the iron.
Paris Hilton, back then when we were talking about Von Dutch, she gives me, if we had social media, because that's all she's really been. That's all that personality was. It's just what everybody else be trying to do now. Like,
right.
She's an influencer that did not have a platform on which to influence.
Like she was just influencing IRL.
Like OG YouTube, OG Insta influence.
Right. If Paris Hilton had Instagram, if Paris Hilton had any social media, she'd have broke the internet a million fucking times.
A million times. Like, and we're talking about before she made it on Fox. Like, she was literally an influencer in real life. Like, niggas was seeing her walking down the street, and then next week we all got all of
everybody's doing what she was doing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think for me, I knew she wasn't no dummy because Nicole Richie ain't no dummy, and I've always loved Nicole Richie. And I felt like for them to be standing next to each other, like this bitch is just being dumb on TV. I think she was a valley girl and an immature 20-some-year-old girl. Yeah. We are immature 20-some years old. But that dumb persona for them to put behind it, and then I'm seeing all of my favorite celebrities wear this shit, but the face of it is somebody who's pretending to be dumb. I was like, oh, this shit. And again, it's very ugly. That shit. Like, if you tackle me in that during Thanksgiving football, I expect you to have that shirt on. you met me at the club with that on? Like, who's your mother? Like,
and the wild part is this a mini skirt in the club. With a tennis skirt.
With a little mini skirt.
With a tank top and a Von Dutch hat.
And a jean jacket.
Oh, no. Or you had the mini vest.
Oh, yes.
The mini vest that only
went like right here.
The mini vest. And your skinny scarf.
Right. We have so many crop tops, like outer tops.
Y'all will go to an early 2000s theme party and see that one chick who you don't never come out like, damn, Cheryl, I ain't seen you in a minute. That's because you know that one person that buy clothes like every 10 years? This bitch still has Von Dutch, and that's all she had. At the early 2000 party, she killed it. Ooh.
When I had my little...
She got her sidekick. Like...
Right. Oh, my God. I miss my sidekick so much.
Family birthday gathering. I just did like a velour jumpsuit. I was I'm not
which I saw the pictures and it was giving. So,
I was like, that's all I can do. I also had
because we don't own stuff like that.
I had also got the LED belt buckle. Yes. $20 on Amazon.
Did it say what did it say? Did it say for me?
It said Meek for $20. For $20, you too can have your own LED.
Yes, let me program some fucking.
Remember niggas used to show up to the club with they gang scrolled or they hood scrolling,
and then like mid party change that shit. Like I seen a nigga change his shit with his number on it, nigga. Like.
What were we on?
I'll go back.
How we were dressed business casual in the club.
We were wearing vests to the club.
Pinstripes. We were all fucking Al Capone in the club one year.
Everybody was Al Capone and
bootlegging. And everybody had this random ass style. A position of how they wear their Von Dutch hat. Nobody's was the same.
It was never. Like, yes, it was always different.
You could never wear it the same way twice.
No. Just had to.
So, we're saying all this because listen, it was a lot of filler in this goddamn documentary. I don't even know who wrote this. I'm mad at him.
Yeah. We should be able to get through this and then not feel like it was 3 episodes.
Nah, we can get through this before an hour, and that's the sad part.
We're going to give you the rundown. Because I thought it was going to be a curse. I thought everybody was going to be dead and divorced.
Yes.
Turns out everybody's alive.
So you remember when we first started this, and we all agreed to do this, and we knew it was going to be great, and the one rule we made, we ain't had no rules, and one rule we said was no episode. And then we broke that rule. Everything was great. When I watched this, I was like, I remember why we said
no episodes.
And the crazy part is when I suggested it, I don't think I knew that it had episodes. I wish one of you motherfuckers would have said something.
I felt like when you said it and I looked at it, I was like, oh, an hour and 15 minutes. Cool. I didn't see 2 and 3. They weren't there.
I think I did the same thing. I looked, I said, hour 15, cool.
Bet. And then all of a sudden, 3:59 minutes.
3 hours later. I just feel like anytime we come up with episodes, I'm just like, well, they let me do the Lisa Lamb one, so
well, that one was good.
Yeah. I don't think we've had a bad episode, and this wasn't bad. It just
we always do that because we've done this to another. It was another one we were like, we didn't like it, but we'll turn it up for you.
Right. You know what? This gave me. I watched this and I was like, what's what the fuck is the name of the one with A-Rod?
Oh, Screwball.
Screwball. I was like, if Screwball was in 3 episodes, we would have loved it.
Yeah, I would have
Screwball this or added, you know what I mean?
You mean like have like little kids?
Either kids or just something. Just something like
Screwball is so goat for that.
Can you imagine a kid, Tony?
Tony.
Or Mark, a kid Mark.
Right. Young and old.
Yes, all of them. Okay, so I guess we start talking about who the hell we're talking about. Okay. Sorry guys, we're excited. We haven't been for a while.
Who did we talk to first?
We like
Ed Boswell.
Boswell, yeah.
Can I just say I don't know why he's here?
Look, me neither. And I'm gonna shut up after this. This is like going to Thanksgiving when you ain't seen your favorite cousins all year. So sorry, y'all. Oh my God.
We finna go on a walk. We'll be back.
Right.
Okay.
Somebody should name their podcast that.
The cousin walk.
Right.
The cousin walk off. So y'all can have that. Okay, so we said it was in 3 episodes. So the first one, we're calling chapters, right? Is the first one is who created Von Dutch, and
right.
It's gonna sound like your brain is broken when we like give you like anyway. Okay, so Long Beach, California. You guys want to talk about Kenneth first, or do you want to wait until we really learn about Kenneth? Sorry, Kenneth Howard is the real Von Dutch, guys. Right. He was into like all the like flames on shit and like the flying eyeballs and the bitches.
Motorcycle car culture, but he made it like artistic.
Yes. Yep.
That's what you really need to know. Like he gave it its signature flair.
Yeah.
And he was like Prince vague. You know how we all love Prince because they be like, Prince, which album is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, he's like Von Dutch, and they're like, well, what is it? Whatever you want it to be.
It's whatever you want.
Whatever's in your heart.
Right.
Borrow all of this shit.
Right.
Copyright infringement. Nothing is real. Time is a constraint.
Nobody's made anything. Like everything's already a thought in somebody else's head, so fuck it. Like that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, it's very loosey goosey. He's dead. That's what you need to know.
So he died a long time ago. Yeah.
He's dead.
Okay,
yeah,
so Ed Boswell is the first guy that we are introduced to. He says he's the creator of Von Dutch, and I think at the end of this we can kind of determine who really created what. But the way that they present it to us, it makes us feel like it's a fight about who did what. And I think at the end, I was very clear on who did what.
I don't know that I'm still.
We'll talk about
it.
Go ahead.
None of them, in the sense
created
of
anything.
What we're talking about.
I mean, but. We're gonna get into it, but like everybody,
first nigga, you ain't think
Ed Boswell was
the first nigga that we meet sitting behind a Von Dutch desk.
But no, his story is that he met and knew Kenneth Howard's daughters, and they gave him the right to be able to use the name. So he made the patches.
Out of all of them, he's the first nigga we meet behind a Von Dutch desk. I think, and never mind, because I mean, I want to say my piece, but I guess I can still say it a little bit more when we get into it. Because all I was going to say was, this won't ruin shit. The first person we meet is him, but business is business. And I just say that.
I'm not disagreeing. I think when we talk about the nigga argument that they have in.
Yeah, we're going to clarify some things. We're going to figure it out. It is the long story made longer by them is that they didn't really create anything. They bought some stuff that was already created.
Some stuff that somebody else already had. To me, everybody starts taking it. What happened? I don't know. But to me, it's kind of like everybody's got a piece, and then somebody comes and takes their piece and runs with it, and then that person takes a bite, and then they run with it. So it's true. Like nothing's really.
Von Dutch principle was nothing is original.
What happened?
So,
I have no clue.
Okay.
Weird.
That's
okay.
The spirit of Von Dutch.
It felt like if I decided, you know what would be cool? I should just make a line of fucking wax melts, but on the front of it, I'm a stamp John Hancock's signature from the fucking Declaration of Independence. Like that's what the fuck.
Because that's how long this thing is gonna last. As long as the Declaration of Independence be.
I think really real too, like with him being as well. I don't know if you want my answer on who I feel like invented it, but I guess I would.
Anyway,
I'm so laughing at John.
Ed's here. Ed's here to tell us how he created Von Dutch and how he feels like he got fucked over.
So, but listen, okay, because y'all are like really, y'all are really wondering. Okay, so Ed is the one who knows the fucking the Howard sisters or daughters, and he's the one who initially got the okay from the actual state to be able to use this man's name. So when Ed started using it, he was making the signature Von Dutch patches that we all recognize. So I think that's important. And I understand that Ed is holding on to a little bit more than he needs to, but I think that's important. So then,
so Ed puts Kenneth Howard and AKA Von Dutch into the consciousness of the generation past when he was dead. We'll say that he put it into the consciousness. It was not mainstream, but he was selling the patches for that certain part of the motorcycle car culture that really jives and like that shit. So he was like the candy lady, like, you know.
Yes.
But with like Von Dutch patches. That's the easiest way to do it.
Yes. Because it wasn't a clothing line. He literally was selling these patches as patches. Like we can go and buy a patch for our jackets or whatever. Like,
right.
If I want to iron it on or sew it on, whatever you want to do. Right. Boom.
There you go.
And then if you think about it with him, you were only probably getting those patches because one, you just thought they looked cool, or B, you actually knew who Von Dutch was. He was selling these patches when the majority of people didn't know what the fuck or who the fuck
Von Dutch
actually was.
So, and he was selling them in a swap meet.
Right. At the back of what it looked like.
Okay.
Trade shows.
Swap me. Okay, so
but you want to know something? What's so sad about that I just thought about it is we don't really even find that part out until like watching like at least an episode and a half.
Almost, yes.
Yeah, like y'all niggas couldn't just tell us Ed started this whole shit.
They were trying to hold it and let it go out for 3 episodes, so no, they couldn't.
They kind of mention it, but
slightly, but not they do when they show him.
Right. The reason we all kind of are in disarray about this is because the way this is put together and shot is they are intersplicing multiple stories about multiple people at the same time, and none of it really connects together in a way that makes sense until like the last 20 minutes.
Well, and at the end, they selling.
That's actually very true.
Because look, for like an episode and a half, maybe an episode and 3/4, I was like, I can't believe they doing my nigga Bobby like this. Then I was like, nigga, like you don't deserve to talk about anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it seriously. Was just, but that whole first episode they presented, I'm really thinking like y'all said earlier, I'm thinking we about to get into some gangster shit. 4 niggas that fucking got beefed out because somebody, you know what I mean? We all did this.
It's a shootout. These niggas kidnapping each other. Turns out no. So Ed, we get to talking about what is not Mark. What is the man's name?
Bobby Vaughn.
Yeah, we meet Bobby. You could tell Bobby, well, from the pictures, Bobby, I guess, used to have model good looks. Now Bobby
was fine.
Bobby was acting. Bobby was exotic or something.
Bobby looked like he was trying to be. If Insecure was out back then, he'd have been the chick, the dude.
He'd have been the Asian dude for Molly.
I feel it. I fucks with it. Yeah, so we get this backstory on Bobby Vaughn, and how he's adopted and poor him, and he doesn't fit in with his
And
white parents,
with
and
his white ass family.
and everybody was mean to him, and they called him Asian slurs, and
Yeah. But basically he had a decent life and he just kind of chose to like go live on the outskirts like of life, I should say. He started
it was giving very like,
what the fuck?
I don't know how to
Poser?
describe it. Like it was giving like, I want to go join a cult type shit. Like, I have money, but I don't belong anywhere. Someone
Right.
take me. Like,
Right.
I could have just went to California and been like, I'm starting a cult, Bobby, and I need you, and he would have
Right.
been in my cult. Whatever.
Jump right in.
Right.
Yeah. It was lost.
So guns and people getting stabbed in the leg with screwdrivers, and this is where we
Laughing
meet
about it.
Mark. Yeah.
Oh well, before we meet Mike, no, it's Mike, right? We meet Mike or Mark first.
Mark is the friend that he drops off.
Mark is Bobby's friend.
That's Mark Rivas, yeah.
Okay, so
The
before
coolest
we
guy
do
in
that
high
though, Bronze Age was created by Mike Castle, right?
Right. So I guess we should back up. Bobby like finds something that he's into, right? He's like surfer guy.
Surfing. Mhm.
Right.
Surfer guy, and the brands that people like are hardcore surfers wear, do whatever, are pretty much the same, right? If they've always been like the Roxys, the Billabongs of the world, all that shit is still the top brand.
Quicksilver, Salt Life.
Yeah, Quicksilver. And
Salt Life was rather new, my bad.
Yeah, and he was like, I don't like any of that shit. And so he happens upon this like kind of small company, Bronze Age, and he really likes their shit. And I guess that's where we meet Mike.
So Bronze Age is like, so all of the other things that were mentioned, like Billabong and like fucking Quicksilver, like we know those looks, right? From like real like white preppy kind of. And so Bronze Age was like an alternative to that. So we're talking, so it was giving me like if there was a beach in Compton.
Yeah, it was like urban surfer wear.
Yeah, like it was giving me like stuff that I've seen like NWA wear, but it was like for niggas that were like surfing and shit, like or skateboarding and that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so whatever. So Bobby got involved with like a lot of that like line is basically all he wore, and I think is that Mike Cassell was the one, or was that?
Yeah, he called.
Yeah, Mike Cassell is the one who created that.
Yeah. Right, and this also goes to show for like y'all people, the younger generation versus our generation. Mm-hmm. The fact that this nigga was able to, the way that they met and the reason that they met, like no Instagram, no nothing, just hey nigga, here's some pictures. This is what I'm trying to do in my life. He called these niggas up and was just like, yo, I'm trying to work for y'all. What's good?
Right.
Because he had been, what he said, he had been wearing Bronze Age from the time he was 12 to 19. And I think it's just a testament to, again, the time we lived in, to where that's how business was done. A nigga had a loyalty to what he wore. So he actually called the company, you know what I mean? And asked her, like, can I come work for y'all? But
well, the fact that he could call them and go work.
Exactly. Like, I can't call Rihanna and be like, hey girl,
I love Savage Fenty. I want to come work there. Like,
right.
Real talk.
So, basically, Bobby and Mike kind of got close, right? After, and kind of forged a relationship. But also, it's important to tell y'all that Mike is also saying that he created Von Dutch. So now we've got, and I forgot to tell you, and Bobby says that he also created Von Dutch.
I think they're saying they co-created it.
Bobby and Mike would have created it together. So these are maybe not two different claims, but just one.
We're just talking. We're talking to them separately, but to me, it seemed like they were kind of
doing the same thing until they weren't.
Well, I will say this. Like, I noticed that when Mike said he founded Von Dutch, he just said Von Dutch, right? And then when Bobby talked about it, he said that he was the founder of Von Dutch
Originals.
Yeah.
So I think that they are
same
talking
shit.
about a differentiation in like design ideas.
Okay.
Or like company focus and not necessarily the company as a whole. Is what I got from what they were saying.
Because I mean, the whole thing about this was every time we were introduced into a new relationship, the person we're being in, or the person who has the most clout and or money in this relationship actually ends up moving on with the business. Because again, we meet well, I'm sorry, what was the first Sam Boswell, right? Ed Boswell. And then he hooks up with Mike. And everybody says Mike Cassell is this crazy dude who has all of this money, he's moving all this weight, this and the third. And Mike actually takes it from, because he owned Bronze Age. So he already had a staple in the game and a feel of what it was, regardless of how shitty he was with his money. His you know what I mean? So when he comes in, you got the company now, and you can move the name forward. Again, I think Bobby, the way that Vermeek described the situation was perfect. I don't think he was as important as he was making himself out to be. And you were lucky to get what you got. I'm going to be honest.
Who we talking about, Bobby?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I think Bobby, the fact, again, it's all business.
Bobby is one of those people where he was not necessarily the brains behind the operation, but he gave it a certain je ne sais quoi, a certain like charisma, right? He's young, he's attractive, he's going out and making these business connections, but he's not the one making the designs or fucking sewing jeans.
He also put a lot of trust just in him and Mike's friendship, because one of the things that I feel like they said, remember around the time of the documentary where they were asking people if they remember Bobby, and a lot of people was like, "No, I don't remember meeting him." Was I the only one that had the feeling like, damn, they haven't talked about Bobby a long time in this?
Because, you know what I mean? Well, I think it's because, and we'll get into it, as things were shifting in the company, I feel like they realized that Bobby wasn't really contributing that much to it. And I think that they were starting just to phase him out. And that you're talking about that when it happened with fucking Tawny.
Right.
Tawny. So,
I mean, I'm not trying to jump ahead for real.
Yeah. But no, you've made valid points. So let's get back to Mike. When we first see him, he's crippled as fuck. He
got the rheumatoid arthritis.
He's freebasing.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So I was gone. Listen. So they just let him.
Well, did you hear what he explained as he was doing it? It helps him. It helps him get him through the pain that he's feeling because of the arthritis. So instead of weed,
CBD gummy, bitch. Like, wait a minute.
So instead of weed, he was like, "I'll just freebase real quick," and he hit it like two strong times. It was like, "All right, that's good." Oh, let me tell my story.
My man said one. And one for the road. Like, what? You're not going anywhere.
He is. He about to take you on a trip, my nigga.
What was cigarette? What?
No, it
was like a little pipe. Yeah, it was like a little tube.
Like a glass pipe.
He was just sucking the
fumes.
He was sucking, you know the flames that come off of a hot apple pie, like
sucking the flames off a hot rock. Okay, that's enough. I've heard.
Yes. All I needed was
Hulu, cutting out my Hulu till next month. Whatever we watch next, don't let it be on Hulu. They on punishment. They let that nigga fucking smoke crack on the
air. And they couldn't tell you.
And then they let him piss in a goddamn Pure Leaf bottle.
Right.
I didn't want to remember that. I didn't want to remember that.
Damn, it ain't no bathroom in your trailer. But then it might not be no bathroom in his trailer.
Nah, you know what? I think because that nigga probably there at this point in the stage, he's there alone a lot. And they probably signed off, nigga. We get to record everything. And he probably was like, "Hey, yo, cut." And that nigga probably pisses in a bottle a lot because he's hurt.
It's probably painful to try to get up and move.
Yeah. And I think
and then RV bathrooms are kind of like not super spacious.
You see what I'm saying? And I think they was like, oh, this nigga didn't know. He don't read contracts, so he clearly didn't know that.
Oh,
he's too high to know we're recording him.
everybody was in a 360 deal. God damn.
God.
It was real. Yeah, that's basically what this story is about.
So Ed, like, what I gathered is Ed got permission from the Howard daughters
Yes,
to do the
right.
Von Dutch whatever. But
Yep.
then Mike went in with his Bronze Age cocaine money and was like,
Mhm.
I'ma buy the rights off you.
Right.
So
Okay.
So it's like
I
when we
wanna
say
talk-
who created it, that's the question: is what are you asking? What was created?
what exactly was created? Because
Are we
nobody
talking
actually
about
created anything. The only person
Right.
that actually created anything
Was
would
Von
be
Dutch himself?
Christian.
Julia?
Yeah.
And I don't know
Well, yeah,
why.
the only person here that made anything original. So
He was a designer, right? Yeah.
God, and
Everybody else was just
honestly,
throwing on patches.
why did we pretend like Ed Hardy and Christian era of Von Dutch was not the fucking same thing? Why did we
It
act like that
was.
was different? It was literally the same shit. What Von Dutch
But-
became at the end, right before it left, was all he took all of that shit to Ed Hardy and just took the Von Dutch shit off of it. Like,
right, but I think the thing with that also is that like he was able to
That shit
do
was
like
so
the Ed Hardy by
know.
Christian Auger. Like
Yes.
before it was
he
Von
couldn't.
Dutch.
It was just Von
wasn't-
Dutch.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he was
Another
able to
thing that
parlay
never
that
rocked.
fame and be like, yeah, I did all the Von
So
Dutch stuff. And they were
ugly.
like, oh shit.
And
I
was
hated
like, put
Ed
that,
Hardy.
hey, throw that tiger on that shirt with all of these flames.
All these fucking flowers. Look at that John.
skull,
John,
right.
John from John and K plus 8. Yeah, give him
Yes.
$5,000 worth right now.
Nigga.
No.
And put a
That's
Red Bull in his
all-
hand. Stat.
That skull with the flowers, and I was just like, everybody had the green one or like a blue, and I was just like,
The blue. Mhm.
I hate this shit. Like I never, Von
It's
Dutch
so
and Ed Hardy
tacky.
It's very tacky.
never wore
It's
any
so
of that
tacky.
shit.
All I wanted was the hat. I never really wanted to go anything past that. I didn't even really like the little bowling bags that they had. Like,
But look,
Yeah.
see, you bring up a point. That hat is really the question of why we have to discuss.
why
who
is
created
it? Why
what.
is it even? Why is it? Honestly, that hat is what the brand I think
And
made,
so,
like
if,
to
right,
us.
so
You
when
feel
you
me?
think about that, Mike, you were there in a fucking downturn. You were there when the company was losing money. Yes, you gave us Bronze Age and you bought it out, and so you had a platform to move, but your direction put us in debt. Tiny came and still stayed in debt, and in a trucker hat, changed
That-
everything around.
That is up in the air on who created it. Mike
one
said he
remembers.
did it.
Of course, Mike
And
didn't
then,
say he did
and
it.
then when Mike, but when Mike said he did it, then you have people that were still working there after Mike wasn't, who were saying he might have. I don't remember.
But Tiny didn't even say he didn't.
He didn't say he didn't.
See, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. I don't think that because here's the thing. I don't, Tawny, so Tawny Sorensen, is that his last Sorensen?
Sorensen.
We
Yeah.
meet Tawny. Tawny basically, at some point, Mike's drug dealing that he's using to fund Bronze Age gets him locked up. He gets
Right.
pent up. He goes away.
Right.
Bronze Age keeps continuing, but when he gets out, they're trying to figure out some new shit or whatever. He finds somebody to, I guess, invest money in Bronze Age or what he thought was an investment. He sells Bronze Age and the rights to it to somebody for $35,000.
Right.
Which doesn't
Which-
make
which
any
was
fucking
really-
sense because we're kind of down. I feel like we might be downplaying Bronze Age because it didn't really affect us. You know what I'm saying? But it was in like magazines and stuff. Like in
Like,
like
they
It was
really
big.
started,
Yeah.
it had started to take off much in the way that Von Dutch kind of started to take off in the beginning, where you would see one or two celebrities in it. It had made it to
Uh-huh.
17, the board shorts, that type of stuff. They were starting to kind of grow a cult
But
following.
in the surf world, it was
It was big. It was all the
Yeah.
rage in that community.
right.
And so, like, I don't know, it's like what Capizio is to like dancers. Like, it's all the rage. So got the Capizio or like Asics or like fucking Rebel Cheer, like that.
Yeah. Perfect.
Like the
Perfect,
pinnacle
actually.
of whatever. Like when you think of that sport, that's what you think of. Like they were right up there.
If you were trying to go against the preppy, like not another teenage, like you feel me, like kind of.
Oh, so it's like what New Balances are the 35-year-old white men.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So I don't want to gloss over the fact that Mike started Bronze Age for the culture, I guess, but also to launder drug money, because apparently the fashion industry is the easiest place to do that. Maybe that's why everybody has lines. I don't know.
Well,
but I want to talk about his license plate though.
Any type of business where you do not have a very structured business plan. It's going to be very easy to launder money, right? Because if I don't have an accountant, I don't have a CPA. So if I say that like Bobby pointed out, if I say I spent this much money on marketing or advertising, like how can you prove that I didn't? If I tell you that I spent $500,000 on flyers, like
right. How do you know that I didn't?
How do you know that I didn't? Like it's a startup business. I could have printed those shits in my basement. You don't know that I didn't. You don't know that I didn't pay somebody I know. Like here's $5,000. All your job is from now on is to fucking tell people how great Bronze Age is.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Quantify that type of shit when you don't have a business structure. So it is very easy to launder your money that way.
Yeah. Okay, so
I need to start a clothing business is what I'm hearing.
I mean, young nigga, move that dope. Move that dope.
So we won't get caught. Okay, so
the IRS wants a cut of everything. They want fucking money you got on cash.
Yeah.
Like, can you sound like Cash App?
Yo, y'all telling me y'all ain't see this shit? I know I ain't the only one that got the email from the IRS, and if it is, I'ma laugh. Out of the three of us,
were they warned us about what they was doing?
They want to tax Cash App.
What?
I got an email that was like, and then I went online and seen this shit. There's a section for you to claim illegal money you've made for the year.
Why
does the IRS think that you made illegal money?
Wait.
Is it something you need to? We're gonna talk about that when this is over, because I have several questions about why the IRS would think.
Derek,
like, forgive us for like breaking character, like she didn't call generals, but Derek, baby, why do they think that you?
Why do they think? No, baby, I didn't get that
email. Rick Ross ran, so Bill
They're like, hey, look, now's the time to tell us about that dope money. I was
like, why do these people think that you?
But wait, on a broader scale, why do they think I'm gonna let you tax me for that?
Thank you. Why am I about to be like, yes?
Why would I tell you? Yes, $50,000 in coke.
And then when you go fucking do your fucking taxes, they gonna fucking be like, oh, you owe us.
Why they at the door trying to lock this nigga up? Like,
we couldn't fit this size check inside your bank account. You gotta come down to the H&R.
It's okay.
That's okay. I don't want it.
You spend a block and there's detectives there and shit.
Everywhere.
That is so much. Yeah, they're trying to tax every motherfucking thing. So
they really are, and I need them to chill. Like,
I need them
to tell you what I'm telling you about.
Let's say thank you. Let's say thank God that fucking. I appreciate y'all buying the wax melts, but just make sure you buy like under an amount that's like.
Please, like.
Because at some point, if I just tweet, cut that shit. Like, no, that means.
They know that means.
That means
no more orders.
Only. Pick up.
Yes.
Like,
sorry.
Call me and mail me a fucking money order.
Send me a money order,
right? Please.
Don't bother. Like, I don't need fucking QuickBooks in my business on the fucking Etsy website. Like, just relax.
No need.
Because then I would be in jail like Mike, and I just.
I ain't really trying to do that.
You seen the nigga on I forgot it wasn't Judge Joe Brown, but anyway, nigga was like, you be using your cash app to sell drugs, and he was like, He was like, why is everybody sending you $20 at a time? And he was just like, I just got a lot of friends that love me.
I mean, here's what I normally tell people. If you have people that care about you and want to send you lunch money, $10 doesn't buy lunch. Like, this is not 1950. What $10?
Right.
$10 don't buy you good lunch.
Right.
You need like $20. Like,
There you
so
go.
what is an appropriate amount of money to send somebody that's enough to eat with, but it's not like,
just stop, just
but
in the
not
memo.
like $40 like pussy and gas money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so it can't be 40 and
just
it's 30.
stop putting,
Right,
stop
30
putting the
seems
blowing
like
ass
too much,
leaves.
so
in
it has
the
to be
memo.
20. 10 isn't enough. 30 is too much. 40
Right.
is pussy. So
Right.
20 is like
40 is like see you after work.
yeah, 20 is like less kissing. It's like 20 is like finger pop. You after you know.
40 is enough for a nigga to be like, you gonna act like I ain't seen you $40? Like, what?
20 is a good wing combo, and
Yes.
you're gonna have to at least like you know, touch a nigga dick a little or something.
Over the shorts.
Yeah, you have to rub it a little. You have to rub it like this.
Like that.
Wax on.
Okay. Oh my god.
$20 might get you $20. She might let you pinch your nipple through the blouse. You ain't sucking no titties for $20.
Nope. I'm not taking it out.
Ain't nobody here. Shut up. No sir.
So Mike sold drugs.
Off the truck.
And then he was arrested like at a big cocaine deal, right? He ended up getting 4 years and he spent it in San Quentin, my favorite season of lockup.
The best one.
Okay, so while he was arrested, he kept working on we kind of went ahead. He kept working on Bronze Age. While he's in jail, Bobby starts to get close to Mark. Is that accurate, guys?
Well, Bobby and Mark have been friends since high school.
Oh, okay. But since Mike was out the way, Mark and him, I think, got closer just simply because, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
No, Mark came back later. I don't know, right? When Mike came out of jail and he tried to kept pushing Bronze Age, that's when him and Bobby got together. They didn't become friends after Mike went to jail.
Oh, you're right.
He got out. He starts living with him and his wife, and that's when they started doing their thing together. Okay,
but I want to not gloss over the fact that Bobby cheddar bobbed himself, or almost cheddar bobbed himself. So, and this is kind of like the pinnacle of Bobby and Mark's friendship. So, yeah, you're right. They were friends before all of this. So, and they're continuing to be friends. But, you know, Bobby's spending a lot of time with these, like, fashion people and stuff now and doing the line and stuff. So, a night where Bobby and Mark get to hang out, they're at Burger King. I don't really know why or what happened.
Somebody came up and said something, and it started a fight. Then it started like a gang fight, and then somebody got stabbed in the leg with a screwdriver.
I think
that was Taco Bell. Burger King is when he killed him.
Oh, that's when he killed the.
Oh yeah, Burger King is when he killed the nigga. Taco Bell is the fucking.
Yeah, that was like ninth grade. It's like 12th grade now.
Yeah. Ninth grade. I forgot to tell y'all this.
No, ninth grade is when he killed the nigga.
Burger King.
Ninth grade was fucking Taco Bell.
No,
it was all the same year.
It was Burger King.
Damn.
Yeah, because that's why he didn't go away for super long, because he was so fucking little.
Yeah. And the nigga was like, remember, it was like, he was telling a story, and then it showed Burger King, and it like slowly went down for a hot glimpse to the caption of the Burger King slogan, and it was like, sometimes you can break the rules.
I didn't even notice that. And that's taking me out, nigga. I cannot.
Oh, that shit had me dead, yo.
Well, he murdered somebody.
That old Taco Bell definitely gave me like memories, like the way it used to look. Yeah.
Every Taco Bell had a purple roof.
Yeah, they literally all of them. Okay, and nobody has purple roofs. Okay, so they're at Burger King. Niggas start set tripping. Bobby has the gun at first, okay? Mm-hmm. He almost cheddar bombs himself. So Mark takes it from him.
All right.
Now Mark has the gun. Set tripping. Mark shoots a nigga and kills him and is about to shoot another dude, but the gun jams.
Right.
They take off. They're on their way to Mexico. They get caught, right? Basically. He does...
They don't get caught.
I don't know. He went to jail for a little bit, and the question is whether or not... What happened? What am I missing?
When they was on his way to Mexico, the cops got behind him, and he thought they was gonna get caught, and the cop pulled off. They got Mike. They got Mark in Mexico. They hugged and shit, and he dipped.
Not the day. Yeah, they dropped the nigga off like it was daycare.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
and that's when he went to. After that, Bobby. That's when Bobby went and met. You know, he decided to change his life. All he did was surf. Can't be up in this shit no more. Somebody told me 19, 20 years old. That's when he met Mike.
Right. Okay.
So now he's with Mike, and they live together, and everybody's happy, and the wife.
It's like a whole family. The wife is cooking for everybody. It's a whole fucking family.
It's a thing. They making ugly ass designs. It's beautiful.
She was using inspiration from her eyebrows.
And then Mike sells Bronze Age for $35,000, which doesn't really make sense.
Not only does it not make sense to sell your company for $35,000, what really didn't make sense to me was $35,000 was the amount of inventory that was in
right. It wasn't a business valuation of what the business was worth.
It was literally worth what he had on hand.
The inventory on hand. And at that point, it's like, well, no, you didn't buy my business. You bought what we had.
My shit. You bought my inventory.
You bought it. That's a shopping trip. Bag this shit up and send this thing out the door. Order some more shit. Like, that's not the business. That's some clothes.
You put me in back order status. Like, you should, like, that's, you shouldn't.
And I'd have been like, cool, $35,000 is not the rent on this goddamn place. Close the door till we can get some more shirts. Like,
and that's it. Like I cannot.
He sold the shit, and then the dude bankrupt the shit, and that was it.
And that was the end of Bronze Age. So like earlier when I mentioned, Mike and Bobby go to a trade show after Bronze Age is no longer theirs, right? Or Mike's, and that's when they meet Ed, right?
Right. So Patches,
and again, Ed likes to remind you, Patches O'Houlihan. Ed likes to remind you that he was the only one. That he was only doing patches, and that was what he wanted to do, but Bobby wanted a whole brand, right? So I think that this is kind of where Bobby's like, I created that shit, because he wasn't doing nothing but...
Which is why he says Von Dutch Originals, right? He does not say, I created Von Dutch. He says, I created Von Dutch Originals, meaning I wanted clothing, and this is what I made.
Or thought of. Exactly. Shit, too. When they asked Tony... who created Von Dutch, and he says, I created Von Dutch Originals. Mike, I think Mike's the only person, like you said earlier, Mike's the only person that says, I created Von Dutch. I think it was different, you know what I mean? Because a lot of the fight, too, was that fight between Tommy and Bobby was kind of over. It didn't say it was over the word or Von Dutch Originals, but in the sense of what was going on, it made sense, you know what I mean, of how he dealt with him, so.
Kind of, you're right. Okay, so they ain't had no money though, right? They wanted to make a brand out of this, but they ain't had no money. They made some samples. If anybody was super into Von Dutch when they first started doing denim and stuff, surprise, surprise, those were Dickie jeans. They were just taking the Dickies patch off, and they were literally just sewing the Von Dutch patch that they had bought from Ed onto those fucking jeans and selling them to you at absorbent prices.
Yes.
So, congratulations.
They were just sewing patches on shit. They was ordering it from China and sewing patches on it.
That's literally it. So then we get introduced to Eli Jane, who was an investor who helped them start the money to start to do that. And she was also like the first model for Von Dutch, right?
She also was a meth head.
She definitely was a crystal meth user and a major addict. Bobby took it upon himself to want to take her under his wing because he thought she was the finest thing that he ever did see. And he tried to detox her. And
had a baby with her.
Yeah. So now Bobby's like, yo, I got this kid. Let me really try to do this shit. And he becomes like the relations guy. Like he just kind of starts hanging out with like celebrities and like celebrities' siblings like Jerry Anderson, who the fuck even knows who Jerry Anderson is? Like,
but I think it's one of those things where if somebody in your family has enough
it's
money,
Pamela Anderson's brother,
right? It's Pamela Anderson's little brother. So he had. I'm sure she's like, this is my only brother. She's taking care of him, so he's probably fucking off. What the correct amount of fucking off for however much money Pamela Anderson has, right? Because I don't think he was super old,
right?
So,
right,
if he's hanging out with Bobby at this point, he's like 20. So she's probably letting him fuck off a little, like whatever.
Yeah,
so they're surfing together, so they're surfing together, fucking off, whatever, doing 20-year-old shit. And then, finally he's able to meet Pam and he tells some story about her putting a toothbrush in her ass or.
Let's talk about VIP though. Like, y'all remember that show? I hella remember that show.
I remember when people thought Pamela Anderson
VIP
should be in charge of things. So there's that.
Big tits used to get you a lot back in the fucking.
I wish they still had that kind of currency.
I really wish that they still did. Like the way that the economy has turned on the value of tits is really.
It's really sad. Yeah. Now I need to be
Pam Anderson and motherfucking Baywatch.
Yeah.
Getting big titty girls out of tickets, rent payments, and a lot of shit.
Everything. Okay, so then after meeting with Pam, he gets to meet with Tommy Lee. He ends up on the infamous episode of Cribs. Well, he's not in it. I don't know if we ever see him. I can't remember. Maybe. Is he?
Yes.
Okay.
The episode of Cribs with Tommy Lee and Pam?
Just Tommy Lee. They were already divorced by then.
Oh, yeah.
The Tommy Land episode.
Yes. Where he is apparently shit-faced out of his mind still. Didn't even know the Cribs was coming. He was just laying down for the day, and then they came to the door. Bobby's on the couch with like 50-11 bitches, and then they come in, they're like, yeah, we about to record. So then Tommy puts on like just whatever shirt he finds. Basically, Bobby convinces him to switch shirts in the middle of the fucking episode, and he changes into a Von Dutch shirt. And he also does something to the girls' wife beaters so that they also have Von Dutch
put stickers
on it. Stickers.
Like board stickers on their shirts.
On their shirts. And made them have Von Dutch tank tops. So basically, that was probably the first time that we really saw Von Dutch on the television. And like everybody in Tommyland was wearing it. So it was like,
this is cool. What is this?
Yes, exactly. Right.
It started the buzz. What is this?
Exactly.
Why do we have it?
So, what happened to Ed? Like, they just kind of bought his patches and bounced? Like,
so I don't think that it was. I think they were having conversations, right? Because originally it was the three of them, but Ed just wanted it to be patches. Ed did not want to do shit else. Ed ain't want to sell no clothes.
I remember he ain't like working with Bobby either, because Bobby wanted to do way too much as far as Ed thought.
Ed was like, "I'm not doing none of that." But the thing about it is Ed had just gotten permission from Ken's daughters to sell patches. Mike put the money in their hands and was like, we finna buy the rights to this shit. And so Mike and Bobby own the rights. So at the point that you don't want to do what they doing, you don't have no power over the situation.
Right, basically. So, I mean, that's kind of where we see the baton kind of pass. I'm not going to say like it was like a team effort, but like essentially we don't really, as far as the business goes, we don't really talk about Ed no more. At any time that Ed comes up, it's because of angst and
him being pissy about it. But look at like I'm like at Penrose on that one. Business is business, and if you felt that strongly about it, you'd have bought a goddamn trademark. You'd have bought the rights from it, instead of being like, can I sell some patches?
You would have cut, yeah, you would have decided to cut yourself in on the business. You didn't think that it was that big. You know what I mean? They gave you the permission to sell patches. You didn't see a patch selling business going as big as Von Dutch Turn. And I think that's what it really was.
That to me, it seemed like it seemed like he was a hater. Like I hate to say that, but it just was big hater vibes. Like you are mad because these people made, you know, millions of dollars off some shit that you were selling at trade shows when they were trying to cut you in. They were trying to expand the vision with you included, and you didn't want to get on board.
Right.
So now you mad because the shit took off. Like I created Von Dutch. Okay, well what?
Right.
It seems to me like Kenneth Howard created Von Dutch and you sold some patches, but
exactly. And
semantics, I guess. I don't.
Right. Like I said, I guess when it comes to us talking about creating the business, like I said, I think Bobby has a decent claim in it, but again, the claim definitely goes between Mike and Tony for me.
Yeah. So this is, I guess, when we start talking about Tony Sorensen. Is that his name? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony, because it depends on who
yeah, right.
Because I think at one point he refers to himself.
We're on episode 2 by now. I just want y'all to know that. So.
Yeah, we trucking.
Yeah.
We're trucking. Yeah, so we basically they meet because Tony, we get his backstory. He's from Denmark. He's a black belt. He's a world champion.
He's giving me like Rocky villain vibes. Like
it was very Dolph Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme, whatever. So he like is a medalist, championship in martial arts. Decides, you know, I'm going to America, be like a stunt person or actor or whatever. That doesn't work out.
All the movies look terrible.
Very like D movie. So that doesn't work out. He decides I got to find something else. So he marries some hot Brazilian girl with a lot of money.
Right.
As you should. And then like, good for him, as you should. Like, what do you do when you're down on your luck actor, but you're really pretty and tall and can do martial arts? You find a bad bitch with money to take care of you. And
there you go.
Like City Girls up 5 points. Love it for him. Love it for him. Flip your hair, sir.
So because she has so much money, he was introduced to Von Dutch as an investor.
Like he's into Cadillacs, like custom cars and shit, and he sees the shit hanging up in a custom car shop, and they're like, oh, the guy that owns that's like real big into like the custom Cadillacs is like, oh, you should meet the guy that does the Von Dutch. Mike. His name is Mike. Mike's a crazy motherfucker, but blah, blah, blah. So he meets Mike. They hit it off. They're all in Mexico spending his wife's Brazilian ass money. Having a great
jumping in the sand and shit.
Yeah, they play in the sand. First of all, these reenactments with them fucking running in the waves, high-fiving each other and frolicking. Oh my fucking god. So much just frolicking. It was very cringy. It was very bromance.
But basically, they just want you to know they was having a good ass.
Frolicking in the fucking sunset, in the waves, no wives in sight. It was a lie. It was doing a lot. It was doing a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of implications, a lot of heavy lifting. So he's like, hey, I'll buy into your business. And then Mike's stupid ass, after not learning anything from the Bronze Age fiasco,
let this nigga buy 50%.
Let him buy 51 and makes 51%. Him the majority shareholder and CEO.
Why didn't we learn anything? Because all of that fucking frolicking.
Bronze Age was him and his brother. You can't really learn this by falling out with your brother.
You frolic a little too long with anybody, and you're gonna make some bad business choices.
And I don't think he thought from the standpoint of, if this doesn't work, this nigga still married. His money ain't her money. Her money longer than his. He good if this messes up. I don't think he was thinking about it from that standpoint. I think he was looking at it like, we're friends and he's gonna look out for me. Like, this is gonna work. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, so when because why else would you get somebody 51% of your shit you just met? I know you falling on hard times, but if a nigga gonna offer you money and you see he got the money and he wants to actually be a part of this, he didn't come at you asking for 51%. At least from what they.
It didn't seem like it. Cause you'd have definitely you could have definitely had his 49, my nigga, and suck my dick.
I mean, or he could have come in at equal shares, and they could have shared the business. Or he could have put in less money, and but he could have said, "Hey, I know other people that may be willing to invest for a smaller share." It didn't have to be the way that it was, and so it was very odd that they chose to do it that way. But they're not. But again, small business, not a publicly traded company with no real structure. Because if there had been some structure and somebody else there, they'd have told them that's a horrible idea.
So to tell you guys a little bit about how the money situation was happening, Mike borrowed money from borrowed money for his brother to start his part of Von Dutch, right? Because it was vice versa when Bronze Age became a thing, right? Is that correct? Is that where he felt like he owed him?
When he was still selling the drugs and shit and had Bronze Age like popping, he had gave his brother 206. He had given his brother money to start whatever the brother.
It was like the decks and shit of or the trucking kit,
skateboards and
this part.
Something.
Not the board part, but like the wheel parts, that part, whatever it's called, I can't remember. But that part. And so his company for that, you're right.
Right. So he gives him that money. So his brother, to return the favor, invest $260,000 in Von Dutch.
Yes.
So then when
by the time Tawny comes in, his brother wants out. So Tawny bought out his brother's
$260,000 worth, right? Because the brother was just like, they're not making any money. And so he was just kind of like, basically, he wasn't seeing a return on his investment, and he was just done.
Okay. So all of this money we're telling you is gone into Von Dutch, and they ain't sold shit.
Like, Tony was saying they sold like $200 some days, and then like nothing a lot of the days.
Right.
By 2001, they were in the negative by $675,000.
Was it 57?
$657. Yep.
They the designs were really fucking ugly, man.
It's just not my style.
Like
it was giving me wallet chain vibes.
It was for a very certain like niche like group, but you just
motorcycle designs and put them on clothes. It's like that kid that we see with the wolf t-shirts, like that one kid that, you know what I mean, like
that had like you can't make a clothing company around like fucking uncopyrighted fucking like paint by number art, because that's exactly like that wolf.
It was very it's very like what's it called, open domain or fucking
it's like on fucking bedspreads and shit. Like you can't do it. Like
even dogs have Von Dutch, y'all. Okay, so by the time Tawny comes in, is it safe to say that this is kind of when they start trying to edge Bobby out?
I think they're trying to leverage Bobby's connections, but at some point it's just like, okay, well, you aren't, like you said, we're paying salaries, we're paying payroll, we're trying to get all these people going.
Why is you
aren't doing anything.
And you bringing gangsta ass niggas around. He could have been got rid of Bobby. From what everybody says, Bobby technically at that time didn't serve a real purpose. So if I was giving you a chance and then you go get back with your gangsta ass homeboy and you start now kicking up dust, and I'm still giving you a chance, I'm not really edging you out at this point.
You edging yourself out.
You've proven that you'd rather run with the gangsters and do this type of life. I don't want that around my business.
So speaking of, Mark did some time for the Burger King shooting, and then he comes back and he's like in the mix with Bobby and Mike, and Bobby and Eli bring Mark to Venice with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And Eli is his baby mama, if y'all forgot. Okay. So, like Penrose said, like when his boy came back around, around, he kind of started getting back into that fucking gang, fucking, I'm just about to do this and we about to go do that and I'll be back over here whenever. And it was kind of like he was choosing that over what he built.
Didn't he shave his head when Mark came on? Like from when they started showing the pictures.
Yeah, he looks more. Yeah.
You know, it was weird. I don't know what he had going. I guess.
So Eli still on fucking what is happening with her shit? Still on crystal meth. Eli ends up bouncing and leaving their son with Bobby.
Yep.
And she makes a point to say that she thinks that was the choice. I don't super know about that. Because, like, I feel like Eli had the kind of money to make me feel like she had a good support system. And if anything, she should have probably took him and left him with her people. Until she got it together and then met back up with Bobby or whatever the fuck. But to me, like a nigga that's like not really contributing to where he say he work at, and also over here gang banging and slanging and fucking shit, you know what I'm saying? And doing all this shit, whatever. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know that was the best situation for the kid either.
Yeah, regardless of the money he had, luckily that child grew up as far as we know and was never hurt or victim of anything.
Yeah, well, he ended up having to give him to the grandparents. So.
Oh yeah, he did give him up. You right.
He had to, but I just don't like. I know she had her reasons, and I guess to her it made sense. But like I was saying, VJ, when you left, like she seems like the money she had seemed like she was giving me. She had a better support system than this nigga, and I just feel like she had an opportunity to take the kid away from both of them. You know what I'm saying? And
she could have left with Elijah and went back to her own fucking family.
And at least went to her family to leave that nigga to go do crack or meth or whatever the fuck she doing
like
somewhere.
It's super wild. Like she was talking about she was doing whatever. She was a competitive gymnast. She was in competitive diving. They got money. They don't got like little money. They got money.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, so and it's not like they're not familiar with your drug use. Like go take your kid back.
Heroin and crystal meth for the fuck of it.
The fuck of it. Just to be when she was like a gym, like freshman year of high school. Just fucking just doing. She's like,
we used to groupie each other for fun. Like, no, y'all were bored and rich, girl. Like,
I've never roofie people for fun. Like
they were roofing each other and themselves for fun. And that told me
I've been roofie before. It ain't no fun feeling.
I can't imagine that it would be, and also like I don't want to play this game. Like
every time you go out and you tell us some ridiculous shit. I be
trying to just be like, okay, Penrose, like
I thought y'all knew that.
BJ always gets like deer in the headlights.
You were in the Navy, Penrose. Like
yes, I still don't understand that. Like
what?
that you picked the fucking water group to fucking not like to go be in. Like
it's the easiest one.
It's the air group, the water group, the land group.
Is the easiest one, but.
It's the air group, the land group, and the fucking water.
But really, if you like wear glasses and you get in the land group, they're not gonna let you fly a plane. So you
and all of them, you gotta learn how to
deep sea diving. You go.
Yeah, but you picked the one where they was gonna put your ass on a mother
in the water,
on the motherfucking boat.
Look, the crazy part is I was on the team called the VBSS team, Visit Board Search Prestige. So when you stop a boat in the middle of the ocean, they put you on this little ass like rib boat, which is like it's like a plastic speedboat.
It's like a dinghy, like a little like
nothing.
Yeah,
You know how you be watching the old school movies or like Call of Duty, you watching somebody play Call of Duty, and that nigga that's sitting off the back and his foot just over the side while they going through the ocean, and one wave might throw that nigga off. This non-swimming ass nigga was that nigga.
What were you holding on to?
Prayers. The blood of the lamb. Because what? Like,
Lord have mercy. I don't understand. Okay.
Well,
So
better you be roofied on
she
land than out
bounced,
there.
and
So.
you know what I'm saying? Then by sea.
You out there on the fucking dinghy. So hey.
I got roofied. It was Myrtle Beach. It was pretty, but then not really.
What's funny about like us all being in a room and then like just periodically through the evening we're like, boop, like what's funny about that? What's funny about that?
Oh, Friendsgiving idea, roofie party.
Right. In 3 hours, y'all have to eventually put your pill in somebody else's drink. Like that doesn't sound fun.
What happens? And are we not telling everybody whose drink we putting these pills in?
I don't think that you can't. So then wait, I wake up the next day.
Everybody, like 5 people are mad at one person, so they keep getting fucking roofied. Like the one person everybody's pissed off at, that bitch burnt up like, macaroni. Clink.
Yo, and her shit started to look like fucking spark flames, fucking too bubbly, like
Chilton,
like a fucking
it's all
witch
white
fucking cauldron.
My wife. Why your shit look like a Slurpee?
Don't drink that.
Why I look like the fucking white ice Gatorade? What's that?
You're the only one with one white juice.
Like what is? Don't drink that, girl. And then like the next day, it's like white elephant, and then you tell like Penrose, I roofied you.
Except for the one person with the 5 fucking roofies is like, like
right, because she's in a coma.
Right.
Where's Keisha? Oh, they took her to the hospital.
We had to meet up at the hospital. So we're just doing this on her bed. Okay. Oh God. Okay. So basically what we trying to tell y'all is Eli had enough money to take her damn baby.
And go on. And Eli's sitting here with no baby, no son, just talking to us, flipping her hair, talking about the Von Dutch.
Nigga, really. She really didn't have nobody had the kid.
That nigga was never
Where's Elijah?
January 2002, Mark and Bobby go to threaten Tani. They go because they want a fucking what do they want? What do they want?
Bobby wants his steak back. Isn't this the part where they what was it? Because this was no.
This is when they go with with the fucking suitcase and the fucking gun.
But I think Mike sold his part. But originally, it makes it seem like Bobby has nothing, but then Bobby still has something. And I think because they never really said why they were going down there the first time, but you know what? The briefcase time. Because now that I think about it, I think we jumped ahead of something. The briefcase time.
It's Mark and Bobby.
There's Mark and Bobby, but they go no,
not the diner. This is when they go to Tani's office with the briefcase and tell him that with the gun inside, and basically it's like.
But that's after the situation with Mike. Then remember they had a situation with a briefcase with Mike.
I thought the situation with the briefcase was with the with the Escobars. Later.
You don't remember?
Later.
No, it was a long.
It's been a lot of briefcases.
It was long, and they kept fucking splicing shit together, and it got very confusing.
Y'all don't remember when the point I'm talking about is when Mike's wife called the police and told them niggas that
Mike's wife told the cops.
Yeah. That was
yes,
before.
But what happened was no.
Wasn't that before Tani?
No, because this is right after Tani tricked Bobby into signing his 20% over.
Right. So why would they go get Mike and beat him up? I thought they beat Mike up first. Then the dumb shit happened. I don't know. I don't know. It was a lot of.
I don't know.
It was a lot of
right. Tani tricks Bobby into signing over his 20%.
Yes,
he does.
Meanwhile, he's also trying to get rid of Mike.
Oh well. Yes, but see what he told Bobby that he was doing is that he was like putting him in his own like division of Von Dutch, and so he was going to be doing something like separate and different, and signed this contract. But what the contract really said was, "I'm taking your 20% for $10,000, and leave us the fuck alone, like, and don't come back over here."
Yep.
Basically.
Once again,
so then
you niggas do not read contracts, and I need you to
right. That's a lot of niggas don't
at all.
Read
At
everything,
all.
please. Thank you.
At
I'm not
all.
saying you have
So,
to read the iTunes
Mike-
terms and agreements, but you probably need to read contracts about your business and your money. Thank you so much. Not iTunes, but probably. Hey, don't matter because we done talked about everything but the thing.
So
Mike.
So the part where Mike was threatened by Mark. So Bobby says that he wasn't ever there. So I don't know if he was or wasn't. He says he was in the location, was his words that he used. But he said he wasn't downstairs. He don't know what was going on.
I was there, but I wasn't like in there.
Like I was in the I was in the building, but I was not in the altercation.
Right, which means you know why we got here.
Right.
You know,
like I was upstairs, they was downstairs.
You know,
I went through the back door and they was bring your friend to somebody, so I never really saw them.
Yeah, when you bring your friend to somewhere to fight, like I was there, but I wasn't in the altercation.
Yes, right.
But I wasn't over there.
Like, I wasn't over there.
So
I was there, but
basically,
I don't know them.
Yeah. Till it gets time to go to Taco Bell after.
So Mike tells us that they beat his ass, basically.
Mike,
and apparently that. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say but I was gonna say Mike got his ass beat that time. Bobby gets his ass beat a lot in this.
Bobby does get his ass whoops, like
Bobby
whoops
gets his
until
ass
he
beat
had
a
to
lot.
do something. So he had to do something.
Sorry,
okay. So
ass beating, and I just got to thinking about all the time. Like
Bobby had a J-Lo enough moment. So listen, Bobby,
not J-Lo enough. Not J-Lo choosing her self-worth and independence.
I gotta choose me, Lucius. Listen, I'm not doing this with y'all.
J-Lo was putting hours at the gym, bitch. Like what? I will not.
You thought you were really doing something? Oh my god!
I wish this nigga would, nigga.
Kick.
This bitch was taking CrossFit jazzercise all in the same week.
Yeah, but I know that's what you know. Bobby Price out of that restraining order, girl. You better combo your ass.
Oh my god.
Okay, so Mike's wife told the cops about the altercation, and there was another situation very soon after where she basically had the cops come because she thought they was gonna kill her husband. They weren't gonna kill her husband. That's the
at all.
Anyway, so we can get back into the Von Dutch part of this. So Tani wanted a fashion designer to get involved with this because at this point, it wasn't nobody there that knew how to fucking design anything.
No, because
it was just a bunch of niggas with some patches.
That was coming up with the fucking actual designs was Mike. Now them bitches was ugly.
Okay.
They was ugly.
But they
wasn't selling, but he was the only person coming up with design. Like, listen, it got
nobody
bought them. I'm just saying, because then the brother pull out the fucking design book. We keep seeing the fucking design sketchbook.
He did. It was pages too.
He had designs. He had designs.
It was
he had
pages.
Fabrics. He had jeans. He had shirts. So he was the only person with any concepts. So when they was like, "Fuck you," like go surf or something.
For 6 months, and then come
they
back.
had to hire somebody. Like they were like, "Your designs are ugly. We need fresh eyes."
we're gonna need somebody who's really about this life. So they find weirdo Christian Audigier. Is that his name?
Audigier.
And his nigga was very much hurting for money, so it made sense for him to fucking team up. I hate that fucking video that they show.
He was like, "Pay me in Trident layers.
Yeah.
Can I sleep here? Great."
Not Trident layers. That was a moment. That was a moment in time. Okay,
he was definitely like, "Pay me in Trident layers for this first little bit. Is there a mini fridge that I can keep my juice in, and can I sleep on this couch?" And they were like, "Cool.
If that's cool, I'll put all the tigers on your fucking shit." So he was very much hurting for money. 2 weeks in, this nigga, it really was. Everybody was broke. So 2 weeks in, he comes in and he's throwing ugly pants and ugly shirts and long sleeve button ups on the floor, y'all. He got his name, or no, that's Ed Hardy. Sorry, he don't have his name or anything. But it's like sometimes has the patch. But like again, guys, I'm talking about like what he's designed for Von Dutch. You can really just go to like early Ed Hardy, and that's basically the same shit that he was putting on this shit.
Cool.
And he's coming out like all the time, and for some reason he threw that shit on the floor, and it used to be like fresh croissants and shit. He just threw that shit on the floor, and people loved it, and they sold it. He helps. I wrote that like Christian kind of helped them get out of the garage, like as far as like the look, like into like. But he pulled away from like the pinstripe and the flames is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
he did.
I think the idea is they wanted it to be more mainstream because
Right.
at the end of the day, if you are going to make money in a niche market, then you have to command that niche market. You know what I mean? Like very much like Uggs. Yep. Like you're making like fucking surfer fucking wool boots. Like you got to sell all the fucking wool boots. You can't sell 2 pairs of wool boots to motherfucking surfers. You know what I mean? Like,
you gotta like, be the wool boot.
Right. Like it's a very specialized thing. Like you have to market it as it's the premier thing. Otherwise you're throwing money into a bottomless pit. You're not gonna make any. Sure, it's a bit like only so many people can buy it, right? Like if you're saying this is for these people, motorcycle culture, and then they was like this ugly shit. I don't want no flames. Like is there one
without all this?
So then they had to be like, well, that's not working. Let's see if we can hawk this shit to just anybody. So how can I make it appeal to any motherfucking body? And that's where we are.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So Mike didn't really like this new shit. And I don't know if it just because it wasn't his or he also thought it was ugly.
I thought that shit was ugly and gaudy and tacky, and it was.
It was.
And his shit was ugly, gaudy, and tacky on the opposite end of the spectrum. So, like, had they met in the middle, this would have been fine.
Yeah, everybody would have been fine, and this would have been definitely one episode.
It was like over the top tacky, and then like understated grungy tacky. Like it was just
true story.
You know the movie Sorry to Bother You?
Yes.
Remember when Lakeith and his homeboy are having that conversation? You look good today. You look good. What's that fragrance you wearing? I hope you have a nice day.
Right.
I hope you have a
Right, where they was like out complimenting each other. And
shit. If that conversation would have resulted in something great, that's what Von Dutch needed. Like one thing needed to be like, yo, you step up, you calm down a little bit. Oh, look at this happy medium we found. Let's make a lot of money.
I like that those flames are red.
Pull back on these pinstripes.
Right.
Yeah, like it. I like those red flames.
I like that tiger is growling.
Yeah, like just somewhere in the middle. Okay, what if we made the tiger smaller and less growly, but like red? And they'd be like, oh, okay, cool. And then like put like a little tiger tag in the corner. Like, yeah, like this.
So eventually we're the fucking tigers off the shirt.
Until eventually it's Lacoste, because then he's like, we're the alligator.
Now he's the alligator.
It's just a tiger instead. Like, you know, whatever.
And that and this has been the documentary of how Lacoste was made. Okay, so
of how they stole Lacoste. There you go.
Right. All right, y'all. Good night. We out. Like what?
They stole it. $6 grand. There you go.
And now it's an alligator. Okay, so Mike didn't like this shit, y'all, and he like really wouldn't back down. So what happened was when Tawny came in, he kind of brought a bunch of people with him, right? People that were like a little bit more qualified than everybody fucking else so far. And so with that, with him
and Caroline.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So while he's like not really feeling the new shit, he's kind of alienating himself from this basically real board that's being formed, kind of.
Right.
And so that puts him in a funky feeling. So Mike introduced a hitman to Tawny. And what was that to do? To be like, I know people?
I think so.
I think in the time, like he's saying now after the fact, in a kinder, gentler light, that, oh, it wasn't anything. I was just letting him know that I know people for future reference. When there's no real ever future reference, and you tell somebody that you know.
Somebody
to come help you handle your business.
I think the rule of like, because you get like, they will put you in jail for like life for conspiracy to like commit murder. Like you will go to jail. So the thing about knowing somebody that will do this for you is you just know them in your mind. You don't ever vocalize the fact that you know someone who will commit murders for you. You don't say that shit out loud to any motherfucking body until they
until they ask you. Right.
But this conversation also happened after there's like clear beef with these niggas. Like,
right. So he's just saying like, I know a guy, and it's like you don't tell people that you know a guy for that type of shit unless they ask for the guy. And they have the money.
Right. He doesn't.
Right there in front of you for the guy.
Like, yeah. He's not a mechanic. Like you
don't.
Like,
you just say that I know somebody that can fix your carburetor. Like you don't. Like you. Like there's no. Like there's no. This is why this nigga went to jail.
Right.
Like he was not a good coach. Like this. I suspect this is why this nigga got arrested because.
I deduct.
Because what the fuck are we talking about here? Like you know somebody that's killing people for shits and giggles for $3 grand, and you was like, yeah, I just know a nigga just in case this fascist shit pop off and we need to kill somebody. Like, what the fuck?
Just in case Louis Vuitton get to acting crazy.
Just in case Dolce or Gabbana, whichever Gabbana is,
because one of them is taller than the other one.
Like. Just in case Dolce & Gabbana starts tripping, we know what
the nigga want to trip.
We can't have them trying to close in on our turf.
All right.
Oh God! So
Chanel shows up, fucking pull out the pistols. Like what? Like,
so at this point, Tawny is like, "This shit is very ghetto, and I'm about to activate the buy-sell option." And so what that means in this situation is that. Remember, guys, when Mike and Bobby first started this, they didn't have no money. So all of the money and funding that they got were from other people. And at this point, they're like the only holders, right? Am I right? They're the only two holders.
And Tawny.
Right. If they're the only fucking holders. Right. And actually, Bobby because Bobby sold his for $10,000 already.
Bobby don't have nothing. It's Mike and Tawny.
It's Mike and Tawny. They're the only people.
Tawny owns 51, Mike owns 49. That's
it. Okay. So at this point, the buy-sell option is, okay, Mike, if you want this so bad, then give me the money that I put into it and you can have it. At this point, guys, that's $2 million. Mike didn't have $2 million then, so he probably don't have it now. Or the option is you can fucking just take nothing. No money, no company, and you could just go, and that's cool. But of course, Mike was like, I don't really want to do that. But he also never was able to come up with the money.
Which I thought was odd, because in my mind, I'm just like, you own 49% of a company. And obviously shit got so bad he was going to activate this buy sell option. Why wouldn't you just sit down with him and be like, hey, you know, when you said I could just go surf and like kick it and it would be cool,
I'll just go do that.
Like, I'll go do that, or I will back off. Like, why wouldn't you try to compromise?
Because he wanted that ugly ass shit back. He wanted,
but it's just wild to me that you see this shit is kind of starting to make a little money, or whatever. And instead of you being like, I don't want to be completely wiped out of my own shit, let me take a seat back and figure out how we can work this out.
Even Tawny said like he could have gotten the $2 million and I would have walked away.
Right.
And he said he couldn't come up with it, and like he was saying, because he was a felon, nobody's gonna loan him $2 million, which is
like you said, he knew some of everybody though.
It's possibly true, but I don't see him having the connections that he had.
And not being able to get that kind of money.
Not being able to come up with $2 million, or at least come to him and say, hey, I cannot come up with $2 million right now, but I can make good faith payments. I can give you half now, and we can agree to this much in this amount of time and this much in this amount of time. People do that all the time when they buy people out of businesses.
And you can you can continue to run it just as you are until I've paid you in full.
Exactly. Because businesses normally don't have that kind of liquidity. So it is common practice that people want to be bought out, that a lot of times it's not all liquid up front.
Right. Exactly.
But they would know this.
Again,
I don't know. God bless.
He don't know nothing. So, guys, at this point, 2001, Von Dutch is now negative $1,065,200. And this is kind of where we get into the trucker hacks. Because something's got to fucking save this sinking ship, right?
Yeah, so they're saying they got fucking leftover fabric and shit and vintage prints. And somebody was like, oh, let's put them on a hat.
Yep. Mike says he says he
you eat dry cereal?
What is happening?
It's late. It's late where he is. This baby hungry. He got the money. His eyes, so that baby high as eagle pea. Look at it.
Yes, it's fine. And we're
it's
almost
okay.
done.
Eat your cereal, baby. It's okay.
Food right there. As soon as
eat your cereal, baby. It's okay. He was like, I'm doing my best.
I'm holding on.
Like this, closing his eyes. He been thinking about this cereal for 30 minutes. You can see it in his face. He's been trying to figure out how to eat that cereal for 40 minutes at this point. So
it's okay. It's okay.
I'm surprised you didn't catch it earlier. I had to get it like this.
It's fine. Do what you must. So, like I said, Mike says he started the trucker hacks. Nobody can really confirm or deny it. And we want to talk about Tracy Mills before we hop into like the final episode? Tracy Mills is like the black dude that you saw with Von Dutch, but you ain't really know who he was or what he did, and that's probably
his brother plays basketball, and the brother had a custom car shop.
Yeah, a custom. I think it was either a custom car, like detailing shop or some shit.
To basically custom car, whatever, to the stars.
Yeah. He was the dark-skinned, tall, skinny dude that you saw in Von Dutch hanging out with Jay-Z and Eve and shit, but you didn't know who the fuck he was.
Basically, he knew all the people because he hung out at the car shop. And so he was telling them, oh, go to Von Dutch. And so basically the Von Dutch business model was, we're going to give famous people shit for free because they're the best advertisement. So they would just go in there and get what they wanted. And then they would just be like, well, wear it out.
Right. Just wear it out. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So now we can get into episode 3. It was entitled Von Douche. And then they kind of get into if there's a fucking Von Dutch curse. They try to get all spooky, but y'all, it's really not a Von Dutch curse.
It's not no curse. That man said up front, look, I don't be caring about these designs. Everything is fake. Time is a circle. I rip this shit off from somebody else. You gonna rip it off from somebody else. Do some PCP, and you gonna come up with some shit that somebody else had already came up with like I did. And we just gonna all share these designs. I'm dead. Peace out.
Okay, yeah, that's actually very accurate. But now this is the era of the Paris Hilton, right? In Simple Life, and Bobby and Paris have a fucking interaction because at this point, Paris is basic because the Simple Life. I feel like that's all they wore was Von Dutch. It felt like at some point.
Yes,
most
which
part,
is what
yeah.
she says. Like they go to Von Dutch basically right before they leave for Arkansas to film, and they come out with like bags and bags of shit, and that's just all they wore.
Yeah.
Yep.
So at this point, Paris is feeling like basically I'm the face of fucking Von Dutch. Okay,
I
she's in
put
the
this shit on
club.
the map.
She's in the club with her people. Bobby comes up and started like being like, I created all of that shit. And she was like, no, you didn't. Tani did. And then like it was a whole like thing in the club, but he wanted y'all to know that. So anyway, because Bobby's life is fucked at this point, guys.
Hey,
Bobby don't have nothing to lose, so he's fighting with white bitches in the club.
Is it me or like did Paris Hilton always have her camera facing her even back before the front facing camera?
Maybe she had a front facing camera.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at.
I don't know.
Like,
She never had that phone backwards. That phone was always regular, like we
maybe
use it
she
now.
had. Maybe she was taking pictures of the paparazzi.
Up here.
Shit, wherever. When she said she was slow. She wasn't as dumb as she was playing, but I don't think she's super.
I feel you.
She's somewhere in the middle.
I like
she's not dumb,
adult.
but
I
she's
like
not-
adult Paris.
Yes,
She's interesting. She's an interesting
Yeah.
piece of work. I'll give her that.
Yeah,
I'll say the Paris that was in this documentary gave me Sharon Stone 9.5 week vibes or something.
Okay, I got you.
I like the little dress that she had on.
I like it.
She had a little court bob. I'd be read all the charges for Paris. I like it.
Yeah, she got
thighs was kind of big. The thighs was kind of big. They made old Paris thighs.
Oh, come on.
So Bobby and Mark are having friend problems because Bobby's broke and now they use that $10,000 and they don't have no more money coming in. So Mark is broke and so Mark is upset. And basically they have this fucking situation, guys.
They're in a domestic abusive. They have intimate partner violence.
They are literally boyfriend and boyfriend, which is fine.
Yeah, they're like boyfriend and boyfriend, but not like in a relationship, like a non-sexual intimate partner violence situation.
Like they're like intimate homies, but like not like intimate like that, but like they're very like
close.
Very close.
As close as you can be where you don't, have sex or sleep in the same bed.
Yeah. So they're arguing. Mark hangs Bobby off a balcony. Bobby's fucking pulling at his fucking long ass braids to fucking try to get some leverage. He ends up getting off the balcony. He runs into the bathroom or the bedroom somewhere. He runs somewhere. Mark goes into the bathroom to kill himself. Bobby saves him, right? Then
flies over, hugs him, and they rock and cry on the floor for an hour.
They're intimate homies, is what we're saying.
They're going through some cycles of abuse that shouldn't be funny, but the way Bobby is telling them,
and the reenactments.
And the reenactment makes it funny because we had all docked up. Do not think that intimate partner violence is
at all. Homie friends are dope. Like intimate homies,
violence is
whatever.
not okay. But in the context,
of what's happening, it's kind of fucking funny.
It was a lot.
Like it was very okay. So guys, it gets worse.
His ass beat like a stunt double in fucking Die Hard, and I was not understanding. He was getting poor.
So let me tell you how the fight happened though. So they're hugging and stuff because man, you just saved me from killing myself. And he's like, all right, yeah, I love you, bro. I love you too, bro. And then they separate. And then Mark is like, hey, playmate, bitch, let me see those rings. Because there's bitches in the house. I'm going to say, there's bitches in the house. Like, so the girl's like, no, you got my fucking rings. He's like, yeah, bitch, I'm going to need those rings. So, like, he's basically trying to rob a bitch at his house. And Bobby comes up to stop him from robbing a bitch at their house. And then Bobby gets stomped the fuck out by Mark.
Like Mark knocks Bobby out and is arguing with this poor girl in the driveway. Like he fucking gets a bottle, breaks that bitch off, which is a reoccurring theme with him. He loves to break bottles off.
He
try
loves
to, like,
bottles. Someone. Yes, very
he
Fesco.
fucking goes to kill Bobby, like tries to stab him in the neck, and I guess it's just so fucked up he stabs him in the jaw.
Yes.
And so Bobby's laying there bleeding out from the jaw, unconscious, and this poor, small, sickly girl with the big rings.
Right.
He's an ex-Playboy playmate, so she's probably this fucking big.
Right,
this poor, small, malnourished girl with the big rings, like, jumps on Mark and is, like, trying to keep him from killing Bobby.
Right.
And she manages to get him off, and then she's like, oh, shit, what the fuck do I do now?
All right.
And so she takes off running and gets in the car and zooms off and just like leaves Bobby unconscious and bleeding.
And Mark just leaves him bloody unconscious and walks away like nothing happened.
And so then Bobby wakes up and was like, oh shit. And just goes inside. Like he looks around, he's like, damn, that bitch left, but I guess I wish
she got her rings.
Like I wish she would have took me too, but I guess, you know.
Right.
So he goes inside to clean up and shit. He's like, okay.
So he's inside, and this is where they have the scuffle?
Yeah, and this is weird. And so this was hard for me to follow in the documentary.
Okay.
Because it is interspliced, and they are going back and forth between two incidents, right? Like we're getting Bobby telling the story about this altercation with Mark, but we're also getting Tawny and Caroline telling a story about the Pablo Escobar, Robert Escobar showing up with $500,000 at the office and a gun and bodyguards saying, you need to take this money and give us your business. And they were like, what, $500,000? What the fuck is this?
And if you guys are wondering who would have known an Escobar, it's your boy Mike. So, because he was ganging, banging, and drug slanging and shit. So
the undercurrent here that doesn't get really said is that Mike possibly sent
the boys, but not the boys, but like them boys.
The boys.
Like,
sent the people.
We the boys.
Sent the people.
Yeah.
I don't know what they thought.
The people that the people be looking for, like that's what they say.
Yeah, the people, like the people. You know how when you don't mention that hit people, like those people, like that you don't also mention knowing.
Yeah, exactly. So again, right. So, but I think in the Mark and Bobby side of this, Bobby gets in the house, and then there is a scuffle with a gun, and then somebody gets shot, and it's Mark. So basically, Bobby ends up killing Mark in this very J-Lo scene and situation that we have here.
Basically, he got his ass beat, goes inside to try to clean up, and was like, I just want to leave. He has a gun in his room, takes the gun. He was like, look, I got my gun. Don't make me shoot you. I just want to fucking leave. Let me leave. Now, I don't know why this nigga, like, to me, it seems like they live on the bottom floor. It's a house. Like, I don't know why he didn't just open the window and leave, but whatever.
Questions I need answers.
Not my business. You know what? Fuck it. He felt like he could talk him down. It was over because they go through this cycle all the time.
They're in love. They're in love.
Like he thought it was over and he could just walk out, and it just didn't happen that way. So he ends up shooting Mark like 2 times.
Right, and he's dead, y'all.
He's very dead.
So,
very
with
dead.
the Tawny shit, the $500,000 from the grandson of Pablo Escobar, who was sent by Mike. He ends up being like, think about it, which I don't think that like gangsters like generally be like, I'll be back in 5 to 7 business days.
I mean,
the money, right?
They usually say, I'll be back in 5 to 7 business days, and you either accept or I'm going to kill you and your family.
Or I'm going to take this shit. So
it's usually like, I'll be back, but I'm expecting you to accept the offer when I get back.
Right. And so somehow that never happened, and they didn't come back in 5 or 7 business days. They kept their $500,000, and that was it. They said that Christian was crying and shit, but like probably right because like this is like you bringing Escobars into a fucking
Like he French and talking about
tacky clothing line.
He don't know. That nigga like fucking glitter and fucking rhinestones and shit. He didn't know.
So to bring it on back to my fucking counterfeit Von Dutch hat. Von Dutch at that time was the second most counterfeited brand next to Louis Vuitton in the world. And
well, because it was an easy counterfeit because Ed Boswell had a bunch of patches in his garage.
It was just a fucking patch. That's all it was on a fucking trucker hat. Then we meet Mark's brother and Matt Revis. He wants us to know that Mark was not a fucking gangbanging and drug slanging dude, but I think he was. But like, of course, like, you know, that's your brother and shit, so, you know, go off. And I get it.
Right.
Like,
I'm sure everyone here said your brother was like a lunatic at one point. Like, I think that
everyone has a Mark story.
Yeah, like I think you're trying to remember the warm fuzzies of when people were like calling you like, you know, Asia slurs when y'all were like 6. Y'all was crying and shit. Like, not to be funny, but I feel like he's remembering.
Yes, he's remembering.
He's remembering him as a kid and not as a fucking drug dealing adult who went to prison.
Right. Right.
Or like the poor man with like very little hair and no money with rheumatoid arthritis. Like he's remembering, like he's forgetting the shit in the middle. Like he's forgetting that in the middle.
So then
he's very poor. I hate that.
So then we meet Dale Gallipo, who he calls himself basically the Michael Jordan of trial lawyers.
That would probably be like Robert Shapiro or F. Lee Bailey, or
let Dale feel how he feels.
Or Robert.
Next person that gets who gets in trouble for murder, try Dale. Let me know what happened.
Robert Kardashian, Johnny Cochran.
Yeah. I got it. I mean, and Dale Gallipo, right?
Did Dale get Snoop off? Because that's the Michael Jordan of trial lawyers.
And your boy, Dale Gallipo. Okay, so.
No, not Dale Gallipo! Dale could be the Charles Barkley of trial lawyers.
The Charles Barkley from Space Jam?
Yeah, of trial lawyers. That's absolutely. Well, he won, so like he didn't go to jail. So I'm gonna give him like something. Like he won.
Yes, right. So he like
the Steve Kerr of life.
Is he like the Reggie Miller?
Well, no, because he won, so we have to.
Yeah. I mean, he won. He just didn't win the thing that counted. But I guess this doesn't count.
So is he like the Robert Horry of life?
Maybe. Okay.
Maybe.
Tony Kukoc.
Don't do my boy Tony like this.
Okay, like I said, Steve Kerr.
No, Steve Kerr. No.
Fucking
he's important.
He's the Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman was in this documentary
too. In the documentary.
He was
perfect.
Because he obviously wore that tacky shit. Okay, so guys, Bobby was looking at 270 years for killing Mark, y'all. Bobby testified, which I didn't know that it was going to end up as great as it did. Apparently, he's a great storyteller, or at least told the truth. I don't know. He told the truth, right? And that's what happened. 30 minutes after him testifying, they had a verdict. 1st degree, 2nd degree, basically not guilty on all charges, y'all. And then, because we got to get back to the Von Dutch shit. In 2004, we find out Von Dutch was a raging racist.
And an anti-Semite.
And now everybody thinks Von Dutch is a Nazi company. And they got this blue-eyed nigga with an accent.
Two of them. A man whose name starts with a J that you pronounce with a Y. The white people were incensed. Yours? Oh, they're all racist.
What a Nazi company. Throw that fucking ugly purse away. Okay, so
wouldn't it help that Christian was putting the shit on dogs too and got weird? It got very weird, very fast,
And nobody, and that was Christian, and nobody really liked that.
Yeah, like and people were like, yeah, you need to like. I think at the end, towards the end, when it got like all that shit, they were like, Chris, this is not. They didn't want all that to happen, and that's when it got weird and douchey, and nobody liked it anymore.
Yeah.
And Christian was like, "Fuck it, y'all don't gotta like my over the top shit. I'm gonna take my talents down to South Beach,
exactly,
and I'm gonna be over here with Ed Hardy,
and that's my long ass name on my clothes.
And now he's dead.
So he is, but not because he put his long ass name.
Not from this, but he's dead. Like so,
but the
curse of rhinestones.
Yes. So maybe there is a curse. So
rhinestones, not what's his name.
Now there's a question of why, if Ed knew this early on, why didn't he disclose that to people before or later? And did he bring? And is he the one who brought it up? So he is the one who brought it up to kind of take them down because he felt slighted, right?
Well, then, wouldn't that make Ed a Nazi? Because he was cool with selling the patches.
Because you were super cool knowing the information and withholding it, so and very much into selling the patches. So I honestly came to that exact conclusion as well. This nigga is also
like, are you also racist. A Nazi? Like, where were you January 6th?
Oh, at home? Can you verify? Is there somebody to verify that? Okay, so I don't know. But he says that he would have never told them that if they would have paid him, which means that you would have held this Nazi secret.
Right. You would have just known that he was a Nazi anti-Semite. Had they, for the right price, you would have kept that to yourself.
Yes.
Like, basically. But what is the right, like, could they have just given him 30 grand? Like, because they've just bought all the patches in his garage?
Just he didn't have 30 grand worth of patches, nigga.
Well, I'm just saying about
right.
Okay, $10,000, like the same deal Bob got. Like I feel like for 10 grand, like they could have just gave him $10,000 and bought his patches, and he'd have been happy. Like they could have just bought all the patches in his garage, and he'd have been happy. But whatever that amount was, $35, $10,000, I don't know really, because I don't know who was selling them for. So.
Who knows? So anyway, Tony then sold the company because he was like, "Oh, let me get away from this flaming dumpster." In 2008, Mike, your boy who was doing meth earlier and pissing in a fucking bottle, he got a hip replacement. He is sober now, apparently. Bobby sued Von Dutch. They gave him an undisclosed amount of money. And they made it so that they put his name as the originator on a press release, right? And then Christian left in 2007 and went to go star Ed Hardy, and he died because it was so tacky.
He did. He choked on a rhinestone and sad case. Hate that.
And basically that's it. The last scene that sticks out to me is that they're talking to Tracy, which is again that one black nigga and all the shit that you didn't know who he was. And he's saying that he never knew that Von Dutch was racist. And that makes me feel like that's not true. Because if you were like the face for like a lot of people that like have it and wear it, and I feel like when the rumors started happening, I know somebody called him or told him that.
Maybe they didn't. Hell, who the fuck knows? Maybe he said it and he was like rapist, and he was like, "What?" And then he did the like, who? Like that's even worse, but also probably probable.
But probably,
yeah.
But that is it. That is basically the whole documentary. We have run it down. We
the
told
longest
you all the
documentary about death that really didn't involve death or curse.
Nothing.
Or
it wasn't really a curse. I was really looking for niggas to be falling downstairs and shit.
Yeah, like they opened the third one and he was like, yeah, people got divorced, people were dying, and people were getting sick, and then none of that happened.
None of that happened. So but I feel like y'all don't have to watch it now because we watched it for you. So this was fun.
This is a lot. Sorry it took us like an hour to get into it. God bless you all for sticking around for the actual show.
Thank you. Thanks. All right, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and end it, I guess. Again, that was The Curse of Von Dutch, a brand to die for. And it's on Hulu if you want to watch it, but you don't have to. And we'll see you guys next time. I'm Chris. That's VJ. That's Penrose. We're all docked up. Bye.
Laters.